First one here, huh?
Well, Susan was in here. Had to go find some batteries.
What size does she need? I got a couple double A.
She was doing rechargeables. These aren't, these are Duracells. Got more negative in it than. Yeah, these are almost flush.
Oh, no.
Hey, there it goes.
Check. They're dead at the door now. Don't even register. It's the left of the arm or something.
Maybe.
No, this one's good.
School one, good one. Or bad one.
Check this one, you know. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, straight down, it was 314. I don't know.
314, okay.
I remember like 530 something. That is not this one. What, did you get that one that come back on or?
No, just brought batteries.
Oh, that's why I already got that.
It's on. That's one.
They were on.
That's one.
Nope, you ain't on.
I hear it here.
Yes, that's 1, 2. You get any signal up there? That's 1, 2.
No, you can usually just bump it middle. You can hear it.
Hunt had good yesterday.
I mean, honestly. Good morning. There will be no singing this morning.
It's coming through to the recording, but it's not coming through to the main speaker. But it is, I can hear it in here on the computer, so it's coming through.
Test, test. Test, test. It'll be getting level to the recording.
It's not coming out the speaker. I tried to room on it, but I'm still not getting anything.
Could the speakers not be plugged in?
No, my part, it's almost like speakers are close. One for the remodel right here, it's not fair. The room was plugged in, this is missing. Well, this can be recorded, but this is recording out.
We have, do you send out an RFP when you're looking to do, bank, relationships? Do you have a formal RFP says what? Yes. Can do you have an RFP that gets sent out periodically to, inquire with banks on what they would, want to bid on our business? Okay, can I get a copy of the RFP that we send out?
I don't, maybe somebody wants to bid on the deal. I'm trying to keep up with it from the now. Sit down and like, I know.
Right,
I had this long. Don't feel like, but it's like a 3-month process.
right,
The ash for this, they have to get this together.
yeah. So if you could send me the, whatever it is we send out when we're doing that, because, I want to provide it to the Andrews Center. They don't know anything about going out and soliciting banking relationships.
Me too. Census report. And then I had to wave the cars to the Slim, say, wait, progress. Yeah. Now it's art, come pick me up.
Oh, yeah. I've got a permanent slide. Got Yes, ma'am. Yep.
So I made all the friends I information.
Did you pass?
I'll get the results in about a week.
Oh, workshop. Within the required package. In the part of the package.
We have. No, when we switch to the digital, they actually added they that way.
But it's gonna be better. It's just gonna be better. Other people, there's nothing now, like, workshop.
That is.
Yeah, and then we were.
Like my glasses.
Total packages.
That's nice.
We had to add the two.
That's nice.
Wow, I thought we should share something that was like.
But if people were.
Right, that.
896.
Yes.
Okay.
Without, there are different things that it's a gap. It's like if there's included travel and things. That's just a standard.
You don't flow very much over there, do you? I guess you do.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
All right, now Jessica's completed her work or conversation. Good morning. I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 9:04 a.m. And we do have, this is a workshop and we do have a quorum present. And the second item order is public comments. Do we have any public comments? I believe Mr. Ben Henley had something.
Nobody signed up.
No sign up?
Don't have to sign up in the workshop.
Workshop, you don't need to sign up, so. If you would like to, I don't know. You don't have to get up, but,
I thought, yeah, somebody, okay.
no,
So my understanding is, our sheriff is responsible for his part of the budget. It's the reporting, I guess? Yes, sir. Oh, okay. So in my opinion, with the way I run business and see business run, it's on him. He says he's got the money to fund, taking two of these jailers, run their school, make sure deputies out. I suspect, I was chatting with someone else this morning, didn't get to confirm, but I believe he's gonna kind of put some handcuffs on, they're gonna be a deputy for a while, not just get their paper next week, run to Southern County. Cool, good. I think we should just put that on. If he tears his budget up and by the end of the fiscal year, there's not enough money, point finger at it. I understand you're not running for reelection. Yes. So, you have the opportunity to go out and buy him, good or bad. I say we put it on the left line. I think he's got enough experience in this particular position or this type of work that he can make that call. I say we put it on. I was given a statistic and it bothers me. I asked him and he did not say that I was wrong. My understanding is that over the Thanksgiving weekend, Thanksgiving holidays and Christmas holidays and New Year's Eve holidays, we had 0 DWI arrests here in Van Zandt County. And we can look at that and we can say, well, we don't have a problem with drunks and dopeheads in Van Zandt County. And continue to bury our head in the sand or up to late in the mud. I think the truth of the matter is the fact that he didn't have enough deputies out there doing what deputies need to do. The few he's got are busy running around with Mr. Smith, got a little too much drink and decided that his wife was a punching bag. Or once again, cows are out on the road. Or there's a fender that we gotta go look into. There's all these other things that are running from one fire to the next, not able to sit out there saying, I wonder if we're gonna have somebody over there on 64 or the back roads who's had one too many. Or maybe over around Wills Point or over around Lake Tawakoni. I know there's no excessive drinking or driving in Lake Tawakoni, they can't, right? We don't have enough staff in the sheriff's department. We don't have enough deputies out there doing what needs to be done. Yes, we have DPS, but we can't depend on DPS to do it all because now that liberals have decided to defund the police in Houston and Austin, DPS is having to step in and say guys from here that are assigned to Van Zandt County down there to be cops for them because crime is rampant and we don't have enough cops. It's gonna happen here. There is a huge cartel presence here. As a board member with Shepherd's Watch, whose primary objective is to chase down child sex traffickers, we also see this other stuff. I'm gonna tell you something. You got major cartel right here. There is no way this guy's got the manpower to even attempt to address it. We got some of the absolute worst ones here. Down in one city in Mexico, there's been an average of 500 murders a month in that city because there's 2 cartels battling out. Who's going to get control of it? Because they have to have that city to bring fentanyl into Texas and into the United States. If I told you where they were, not public records. If I told you where they were, it would freak you out because some of you drive by on a daily basis. They're right here in the city of Canton. They're also in Wills Point. They're up in Fruitvale. I think there's a location that we're not positive. There is at least one down in Martinsville. They're everywhere. This guy does not have enough manpower to look for drunks, much less dope heads, dope addicts. Sheriff, I would say if you think you got the money in the budget, I would vote good, bro. Put gas on. 2 more deputies is gonna make a difference. If some drunk kills some little girl in Florida. We wouldn't want to blow it off, other than. We could have done something about it, at least maybe push this thing a little bit further. 100% behind you, Sheriff. I hope these guys are 100% behind you. I hope they do. And even if you didn't have it, I would hope you could look into the budget and see if there's some other places that we can do this. We have got to get ahead. We don't need to be at the very end all the time. Van Zandt County is where my family has been for 6 generations. I want a 7th generation. I don't have to pull up stakes and go somewhere else. I want my kids or grandkids to pull up stakes and go somewhere else because it's just a bad place to live. I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate what you guys do. I'm in this with you. You need somebody to make noise publicly, call me. I'm gonna back you up. If we make a bad decision, be ready to stand by it. I'm known for calling people out. Not that I'm anything special, I just, part of our democracy, our republic.
Oh, Ben, you are special, man. Shoot.
No.
You are
I'm
special, man.
just another voter, but I sometimes get loud and boisterous and throw some things out there. I like to think things through. I have a bad habit of crunching numbers. It's got to do the job, you know? But I appreciate you guys looking into this. Listen careful to him. I think he's got his thoughts lined out. And I'm looking forward to having enough deputies at night that happened a few years ago. My mom called for help in the middle of the night. And it was more than an hour before somebody could show up. That's somebody walking around inside the house at 3 in the morning. You wouldn't want that for your mom. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you, brother.
I would like to sit and listen, but I have to get back to the office because I've got to earn some income so I can pay taxes, so they can give it to illegal entities that are above the border. It's
Yeah. Make sure you take care of my money. Make sure you take care of my money.
everybody.
All right, are there any additional public comments? If not, we move to item number 3, discuss sheriff proposal to create and fund the cadet program in the sheriff's office.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'll try to make it through this coffee. We had talked about this at Commissioner's Court last week. I've done some research on this, just kind of reiterate, some other counties are doing this, creating a cadet program. Some of them get them from different places. Kaufman County next door does, they bring people up through their jail and give them an opportunity to, I'm gonna call it a cadet position, to go to school full-time, to go to the academy. Daytime academy, if we send them to the daytime academy, East Texas Police Academy lists 5 to 7 months to complete the academy. That's going Monday through Friday and some weekends. If you go to nighttime academy, it takes 9 months plus, just depends on scheduling and weather and when they can get that done. I had Sandy pull up numbers on our lap salary, and right now in this is going to be jail. SO personnel costs, we have $172,161 under budget. I think SO personnel, I believe so, is going to be jail personnel at $63,000. So looking, if we took say 2 jail positions at 48,000, and you 6 months, 2 positions, but it's a 6-month program, it basically you're looking at your salary at a jailer salary, or if it's a dispatcher, it may be once in the program. But we have the money there. I'm not asking for more money. We have the money there in that salary money to cover the cost of the program. In 6 months, this starts, there's academy starts in Palestine on February 20th. That academy, they say 5 to 7 months, let's say 6 months. So that'll be, it starts February 20th, it'll be March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. By the end of August, we could very well have 2 officers do the academy, pass the state test, and it could come to work for us, still training officers. Then we root from our own here and give them an opportunity to come to work as a deputy force.
Okay. How many positions do you have open right now?
I'm glad you asked, because the number keeps increasing. I received a 2-week notice yesterday I'm kind of, my brain's far, being sick. I believe yesterday, our Lieutenant CID Tim Sharpenberg has accepted a job at Edgewood School District. He's gonna go work over there as a school resource officer. He will make $7,000 a year more working for Edgewood School District as SRO than he makes working for us as a CID lieutenant. So I think we're at 8 deputies total.
8 short.
We got 1 transport, 1 short here at the courthouse.
You 8 short, or you have 8? You're 8.
We have 8 paid positions,
Right.
full-time employee positions. Deputies are not filled. And there's how many patrol deputies?
There's 14, including the sergeants.
14 right now. We're short 1 sergeant and 4 patrol deputies.
One sergeant, 3 deputies, I think.
The number keeps changing. We've got 1 in FTO, but these have the right number of officers, so you got 2 people basically doing 1 job.
Okay. So the 2 the individuals going to the cadet program, when they complete the program, what role will they come back to in the sheriff's department? What position?
We would put them into a deputy position.
Deputy position?
Yes, sir. An entry level deputy, they wouldn't pick up any certificate pay yet. Until they completed their time to get their basic certificate, that'd be the first step in pay that they would get after that.
But it takes a year to get to that point.
Yes. A year for commission day.
Okay. And my understanding, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but concern that has been expressed is that we would be adding 2 positions if we allow this to happen. So my question is, can these 2 cadets actually take a patrol, deputy position that you currently have, but get paid at the jailer salary? Because
I keep hoping every day we get that pay raise October 1st, that we'd have people start coming in and applying over there. Probably because part of this, maybe because of politics of this. The office is up for election.
Mhm.
I'm not running again. That may be part of it. I didn't have an influx of people. I'm gonna reiterate this again. We hit a spot on salaries for the jail. It's worked. We beat the fast food shops, salmon shops. Those jailers are making 40. After 6 months, they're making $47,256. That's their regular time. And there's always overtime to work over there. They're making a pretty decent wage. We fill the spots over there. We don't have a problem filling jail. Dispatch, we got all positions filled. The sheriff's office, the deputy side, we haven't been able to fill it. So in my opinion, the salary increase worked. It accomplished our mission for the jail and for dispatch. On the deputies, we're still short. When I lose a lieutenant, who's in charge of investigations, crimes against persons, property crime, all the stuff that gets in from patrol over to them to investigate. And he can leave here and go to the school district. And I mentioned he gets 2 months off in the summertime. He works 189 days. He gets a $7,000 a year pay raise, and he'll get as much overtime working over there as he would work for us. It's hard to get it and to retain people.
So, going back to my question.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible that the 2 cadets could be considered on one of the patrol?
I'm sorry, I got off track. Yes, sir.
Positions and
I
still
keep
be
hoping.
paid at the jailer rate?
I'll work whatever way y'all want to. The concern we had was, I hate to fill a spot.
Well, you still have 6 openings,
Well, the openings keep increasing.
right?
Yes.
So the likelihood of in the next 6 months of those 2 positions getting filled or filling 8 deputy positions and then any additional ones is pretty slim,
And
correct?
I haven't looked exactly. We're probably getting close to 3 years. I know it's well over 2. Before I got there, we couldn't fill all positions.
Mhm.
We lost 3 deputies back in March of last year, and we never recovered from it. We lost 3 deputies in 1 month. They all left to higher paying jobs, and we never recovered from that. We've had to use CID investigators and command staff to cover patrol. That's to keep two deputies on the street. We have a third position on each shift that hadn't been filled in over 2 years, probably getting close to 3.
So on the question about the using the patrol positions for these cadets. We have to have job descriptions for each position. She harps on me all the time about job descriptions. And we've been told that we can't put somebody in a position that's not their job
Qualified,
description.
not
Right.
qualified yet for it, okay?
So that's where I feel that we need the 2 extra positions, for specifically cadet positions, instead of putting them in patrol positions. Because they don't fit the job description for patrol deputy.
Well, I have no problem with this if you do it just like Andy just suggested. We can change those job descriptions. You've got 4 openings that, let's face it, when are we gonna open up and be real? We're gonna always be short of policemen. We might as well own up to that, because the only thing's gonna get them here is money, and we don't have the money. We can't compete with Edgewood School or Wills Point School. So take those two of those patrol spots that are empty, we'll change them to a cadet spot and send them to school. And that's your budget, Joe. You don't have, just like that man said, you don't have to come in here and ask us for that. You can do that right now. The problem I've got is using what you called it earlier, the lapse salary. That's going back. We don't need to be spending that money. It's very likely what's going to happen if we get caught on this grant and for some reason the state of Texas doesn't pay us. We're going to come up with $500,000 to pay your staff out there. So and I'm not micromanaging. I am managing. That man is back there was dead wrong saying I'm micromanaging. No, sir. This guy's right here. We've got to manage the money of this county. And it's our responsibility. And so that's my deal. If you'll take and do this from here forward, using the money that's in your budget, I'm 100% for you. It's just, but I'm not for coming in here and redoing our budgets because we have money left over in certain areas. I can't go for it. I understand we need policemen out there and I'm for this program, but I believe we can do it with those positions that you have open. Just we'll change the definition of those things and here we go. It's my thought.
Joe, let's say after the election, we got a clear winner on sheriff and all of a sudden deputies say, hey, the 4-year window, we got guaranteed work there, and they start coming to work for us. And we fill all these positions. And then September rolls around and these 2 cadets come out. What are you gonna do with them?
We'd have to hold 2 of the positions if we had an influx of people come in and apply.
That's an open.
If we're looking at doing that anyway, why don't we use those payroll positions? Well, can we create, right now you've got a step system in your patrol deputy. Can we create a cadet position within the patrol deputy position? Can we do that versus a whole new position? And that way they can train up and then their spots here when they get out.
Same thing he's trying to do now with the debt position, is just using those salaries. So he's really addressing the same thing.
Well, no, the difference is this position's here, it's set, it's in the books, and this way this cadet's guaranteed this position when they get out of the academy, which is the goal. That's the end goal, is we train up a quality person from within, they take the job and they stay with us. So that's what I'm saying, can we modify the job description for deputy and allow a step in there that's cadet? That way they can come in the cadet spot, and then when they get out of the academy, they've got their TPO certification, they can move up a step to patrol. Can we do it that way versus creating a totally separate position?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Change one of those deals now.
I think that's what Andy's talking about.
Yeah, it is. We're all.
Yeah.
Going from 43, I mean, that's big lowest you can go, 23, 958, and follow whatever type of step program. I don't have any of y'all's, how y'all do your step program out there.
We can take 2 of those positions, change them to cadets. Once they become an officer, we can change them right back to patrol officer.
What,
And we don't have to use any of our unspent money.
I want to ask a dumb question. What's the difference between a cadet and a deputy? I mean, they go to cadet school.
One's a police officer, one's not, one's gonna be at a lower salary. They'll be at the salary that they're drawing a generous salary.
But if they go to this, is it cadet school? Or,
It's basically,
Academy.
right, and they graduate from that, they become a deputy?
No, they're licensed to become a deputy.
they have to pass the
They-
academy,
yes.
then they have to take the state licensing exam.
Right.
Then we'll swear them into office, then they'll have to go through 16 weeks FTO. Where they're with the senior officer, FTO, field training
At
officer,
that point,
to carry them to calls.
Okay.
They slow walk through stuff, then they'll start letting them write the reports, and it's just giving them experience where you turn them out on their own.
So to become a deputy, you're looking at 6 months plus 16 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Well, the 16 weeks isn't a true 16 weeks. 4 working days is considered a week because they work 12-hour shifts. So it depends on how the schedule falls.
when we move to FTO, they're actually in the patrol position. There's the lowest rank.
Correct.
I would just ask if we make one rank below that for cadet. That way you ain't gotta come back here to change anything. You just promote within and go.
I don't want to give up 2 patrol positions to a cadet position, because then we still have 2 patrol positions.
You're only giving them about 6 months.
Yeah. You just,
As long as there's a guarantee.
you're just
that
putting
patrol
another,
position
all you're doing
back
is
to
putting
the
another
patrol
step
position
in there.
once
That's
they
it.
graduate.
That's what I'm saying. We're not taking away patrol position. We're putting a step in the
Right.
patrol category. So they'll go from cadet to FTO to full deputy. It's all the same pay position. You just move them up through it. You're not doing away with it. If for some reason this guy fails out of school and another guy wants the job, you could hire a patrol deputy right in the spot.
The question is, does the job description for a deputy say they have to be a licensed peace officer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that, they would not qualify for that position.
No,
under the term.
They would,
You can make that job description reading like Terry said, you can take 2 of those positions and call them deputies and then put down below it. Or if you're willing to go to police academy, we can put you in here and you will become a deputy when you graduate. I mean, come on, we can make this work with what you got,
Yeah, you can modify the job description.
you know?
The deputy's salary includes $9,200 worth of grant money. Well, if you have 2 cadets, they're not gonna qualify for that grant.
They would be $9,200 under that pay anyway, Sandy, to go to school.
Cadet position would have its own salary level.
Well, it's the without 9,200, the deputy's 43,958, which is not what a general.
What does the gentleman?
47.
And one of the things we were looking at was just making this a salary position. Because the academy, and sometimes it's on weekends, sometimes instructor may not come in, it could be bad weather, they don't go into the school that day. They're scheduling, because it's a long academy, if a guest instructor is not available, they can't make it, they won't have class that day. As we make it salary, it's still all be made up, they'll make it up further in the week or further in the month.
Well, then I say we change the job description of these 2, and then when they graduate, then you come back to us and say, okay, now we want to rewrite this job description back to deputy.
Still got the problem of the grant funding is even the jailers are receiving some of that too. So you couldn't pay the 48 of the jailer without that. So you're pretty much back down to 43, but they're being paid to go to school.
Jailer 38 without the control room.
Without the controller fund, they're at 48.
38.
38.
So you can pay them more doing the deputy side of it.
And I did, tax legal, I only got back to yesterday, and they had to do some additional research. They did say that our county attorney to look over it, they just provided the legal information. I sent it to y'all this morning, but I didn't actually, I figured it out, I did take a look at it. And I do have it in the thought to give everybody, you know, on that. To determine all of that. Because that can be a big issue. As you know, like you say, if we're short, and well, they have a jail crossing already, so they know we're in the jail. We have to really be sure that we're following the 207K guidelines for the payroll purposes. I've got you for another 2, King, and I'll give it to you. But I didn't make everybody a whole, just got one of this information. Cause I mean, there's a lot where I feel like that you can make one full decision today. To determine exactly what it's gonna have to be, it may have to be, 3 days, from now, but. Like I said, you're figuring out they're gonna be salary. It was okay, and. You just need to be sure that we follow that part legally well. That's my main concern. I don't know the program, the direction it's going. But I also feel like we need to be sure that there's an application process for this, just like there is for any other position. And to be fair to the people that we have, getting certain criteria, that's your number one application process. So that can be shared with everyone. And I don't want the guy that just did it on his own. Yes, he's very proud of himself. I'm very proud of him. I've already seen him 2 or 3 times talk to him. I don't want his morale to change because, well, I just got that on my own and now here we are. Because it's working for him. Now we're gonna report somebody a month later after he's just gotten on board. I just.
Yes,
don't
ma'am,
want that.
and I've taken that into consideration too. The issue is I can only do one at a time because of scheduling at the jail. They work on a day shift, they go to school at night, he works a 12-hour shift, leaves here and go an hour to Salt Springs, go to school and drive an hour back, get a couple hours sleep and back to work at 1 to 6
That's the way my son. did.
for 9 months, and that's a long haul. And we're blessed to have him. And I understand that, but also things change along the way. I've got an opportunity to, I'd like to put 3 or 4 in there, but I can't lose that many people.
Right.
But 2 we can manage, because in 6 months I could have 2 deputies, and not in 9 months, I had 1 there. That's why this idea is one thing. But
And say, and taking those 2 people out of the jail. If you don't put 2 back in there, then their overtime's gonna go up. So we're gonna have some of this last money.
we've got applications. Yes, sir, because I've talked to the Captain Sucker. I want to make sure you don't want to fix one thing and create a problem somewhere else. Because I want that jail running safely and professionally while I'm there.
I think a lot of these questions we're asking though. I think Joe's smart enough. If he was elected to be the sheriff, he can manage that. I don't know why he has to come to the commissioner's court, well, I need to do this, this and this. I mean, let him manage it. I mean, I understand I'm coming to the commissioner's court and tell him what's going on, but, I mean, if he can get it done, and he's figured out a way, we should let him manage his department.
I agree, and he doesn't have to come to us if he goes from here forward. When he starts backing up and taking unspent money, yes, sir, he does have to come to us. Anybody else in the county has to come to us because we're responsible for the money.
The court also has to establish all positions and a pay cap. So if he wants to create 2 cadet positions, we have to establish that in the max pay cap. He can't do that on his own.
Because if Joe got to do it, then if Kenny wanted 2 more employees, well, okay, Kenny, go get your 3 employees. So that's why it has to come back to the frame.
I'm not looking at it as we're getting 2 more employees. I'm looking at it as we're getting 2 more deputies.
No, we're getting 2 more positions the way they're proposing it. We're getting 2 more positions.
That's why I was asking to do it as a step within the patrol. Then he could do this wherever he felt like where he needed. It'd be something available to him because he had the training budget and the position.
And I think me and you and Andy are talking about the same thing.
If you were to move forward with it, you have to come back. If we do this, he's got to come back in September and switch the positions back and everything else. I mean, let's set it up to where he can go forward with it, take care of it.
How hard would it be to make a cadet position within the step system?
I don't know what the requirements are.
Well,
They're
if
really confused.
the deputy is required to be a licensed police officer or a licensed officer, peace officer, then the cadet position would not qualify.
Andy, that don't hold wind. That don't hold wind with an elected official. It's required that road and bridge guys are supposed to have a CDL license. I can hire a guy without a CD license every day of the week and there's nothing nobody can do about it. Because I'm an elected official. We put that in there that those people can go to the academy and they don't have their license. That's strictly up to that elected official. He can do what he wants to do and not come after us for anything.
That's where you do it as a step, Andy. It's cadet's a lower step that doesn't require key close. We write it into the job description as a step within the deputy payroll. Cadet doesn't require that. And then you can move to FTO when they can get their certification. Then you move from FTO into regular patrol and so on up the chain as they promote. That's my thought.
You know, once you hire them as a deputy, you would hire them as a deputy once they pass the state test.
It would be a step promotion in that chain.
So the way I'm understanding it, if I'm right, I mean, I may not be right, is we have a deputy position that gets paid X, we have a jailer position that gets paid X. We're wanting to make these people a cadet to become a deputy, but we do not have a cadet position. Is that right?
That
We
is
don't have a cadet position as a pay. So that's why we're trying to, I guess, create two more
right,
positions just
the
with a
budget
different
is
top.
already set at what we have.
Okay,
I mean, other than that, if it had already been done, he could, if we had an open spot for that money in there and we just never created the position and we had that, well, we just didn't budget it correctly, he has to come in here because the budget's already been balanced.
well, why couldn't we just keep them the same pay as, say, they're jailers now? As a jailer, because technically they're not a cadet until they get out of that class. True?
No,
No.
they're a cadet going to the class.
When they go into it,
When they go into the deal, they're not certified. I mean, Jessica, you can look online and there's thousands of cadet applications. That people, you know, when you, the big cities, Dallas, they send 40 people to cadet school. They do their own, and they're not licensed police officers until they get out and take that state test and pass. And then they are into the, then they're absorbed into the department.
And
as
the Government
police officers.
County Sheriff's Office, County Road.
That's
They've
right.
gotten so big, they run their own academy. They have their own training staff, run their own academy. But it's huge.
But they're not police
They
officers.
border pairs.
They're cadets. So I just think that you need to create that bottom line, or we need to create that bottom line of cadet. And send them to school.
But like Sadie said, though, she's right, they can't get the money from the grant because
Well,
they're not.
we may have to just,
So that will be something like.
Yeah.
I think in the budget season, when that comes around, if you want to continue this program, that we need to think about that in the budget and what to be. But I mean, like Keith said, we're in the middle of the budget, we gotta move it around or however we're gonna do it.
What'd you say the pay would be minus the state grant, 43?
38, I thought.
38.
No, that's for jailer, for deputy.
3,958, 80, I think is what it is, am I right, Sandy? 43.
Then they have 9,200, but some up to 53, 159.
So they won't be able to get that extra until they got their T close. Because that's the requirement of the state grant part, unless we find somewhere else to fund that from.
Well, you're talking 6 months, I'm sure we can have that much money. I can understand where you don't want to cut their pay.
I hate to
But
offer somebody a position, but you're gonna take that pay for 6 months.
Uh,
Does that make sense?
And
And the jail, I didn't want to take any positions from the jail side. Everybody, we've got a lot of folks sick right now, so you can cover the shift of getting, and every time, and it's every day, we're having to send somebody to the hospital. There's some kind of medical issue. Anytime anyone leaves, we have to pull one of those jailers, has to go one-on-one with them and stay with them 24 hours a day while they're there. Then we have to call somebody else in to help cover the floor over there at the jail. So it's,
I'm telling you that if we had learned in the last 6 months, that policy handbook don't mean nothing to elected
But
officials.
if we create a step, we can create a
don't.
salary to
You
go.
might as well own up to it. It don't mean a thing in the world to elected officials. They can do whatever they want to do. It's their
Yeah, I think we could.
And so if you don't ask for these new positions, you can take your 2 deputy positions and say, I'm hiring these 2 people without a peace officer's license and I'm sending them to school. And then you've got to come up in your budget with how you're gonna pay for their schooling. But you've got all that in your budget, Joe, and you can do that. And just like that gentleman said in the back, you don't ever have to come to us.
But we need to set the salary. for a cadet. Can we do that? Sandy?
You don't have no say so in that technically.
Well, we're creating a new step.
We don't have to. He can send his
It's
people to
stale.
any school he wants to send them to.
I mean, I'm trying to help Joe.
Yes,
Here.
I appreciate that.
We do gotta figure out where you're gonna make that extra pay up, because Sandy can't pay it out of the line item for the state, so we gotta.
That's right. That's what we gotta create the salary
Get that
for.
difference from 43 to 48 for 6
If we
months.
pull that amount out of the last salary.
That's exactly what I'm budget.
I think you've got enough in that line item to cover that. I think you can just pay them that and your line item will cover it. Yes, sir. No, I don't think it's an issue myself.
Well,
It won't cover it, Keith, because 9,000 of that comes from that state grant that you can't pay them cadets until they get their
That's
state
right.
certification.
At the end of the first quarter, Joe had a flat salary of $176,000 in just the sheriff.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the end of the.
So
That
technically,
money's there.
the 2 payroll positions with that many months sitting there would have it to cover it without pulling from the state. It
That's
would
correct.
work this year. Now, next year's another story.
And you're only talking about 6 months of it. And then they would qualify for that.
You'll have to relook at it when we do the budget.
Right.
But it will work for 6 months.
Yeah, and I wish I'd have seen this. I just saw on social media, the posting from Montgomery County Sheriff's Office that they had a cadet program. So I called and I talked to them, and I called Haley Beavers Attack and asked her about it, and found out, talked to Kaufman County, and then I talked to Fannin County.
But we know now.
Actually, Joe, you do it every week when you're jailer. You hire a jailer that don't have nothing. And you send them to school and you don't come ask us, hey, I want to send these people to the jailer school. And you pay for it.
Yeah, that's a 3-week school instead of a 6 months.
But you can do it.
Yes, sir.
You got the training budget to
That's
cover
totally your
it.
business. As long as you're not coming back asking for more employees in the middle of the year, that's all your business.
You got the training budget to cover the tuition for the academy.
Yes, we'll get some money to cover it.
How much is the academy?
It's a little over $2,000.
For the whole 6 months?
Yes, sir. Davison's class, the young man that just graduated out of the academy, he went to Sulphur Springs. I went to his graduation and graduated 6 officers up there. A lot of times they can't even fill the schools up. They only graduated 6 people, and you talk about a 9-month academy, there's probably at least 2 instructors that conducted that academy, at least 2, and some guest instructors. Their tuition cost didn't cover the cost of that academy to put it on. I think there's EdCog will fund.
fine.
They'll fund the tuition.
Well, if these, the 2 deputy positions, like what we're talking about. Those positions are hourly, 2 low salary pay positions. Are they gonna punch a time clock, or how are we gonna handle them? Okay, because they're 86-hour employees. Jessica, can you just turn me into a salary employee, to over that? I mean, I don't know.
That part, I don't know either. Yeah. And it doesn't specify any of that in those 3. I've got contacted them.
I think it gives us,
It does in the training, it discusses they can be in training.
yes.
So now, I don't, that part doesn't qualify for the grant part, because they're not out.
So, how they gonna touch a time clock?
So as far as the salary part, I mean, switching over, I don't. Because I asked a question that I know will come up if they're hourly. Well, they don't have academy these 3 days, and pulled it out for whatever reason, they're not licensed jailer, we need help in the jail. Again, they have to work in the position they're hired for, or supposed to. That's the way our budget works. That I felt like they're not just taking them and using them over there, however, we should not. And they said that there's 3 different opinions that I'll bring them touch on it, that you can use them. I made all of y'all copies of this too, but I just didn't get this stuff till yesterday afternoon. I was trying to help Joe, had some answers and stuff that come up. I reached out to them and told them I was trying to assist, just to give us more knowledge. Because this position is something new to our county, and so I don't know about putting them on a salary basis, if that would affect anything, because I can't go about what you're saying.
Well, how does other counties do it? How do they have a
I'll have to
cadet
check and see. I
program?
haven't asked that question to them yet.
Are they gonna meet at the sheriff's office and get one of your vehicles and drive to the academy and come back?
I asked that question, you don't mind me chiming in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I asked that question, what vehicle will they use, or should they be provided a vehicle? That would be up to the sheriff to decide, that came from having the tax. My second question related to that was, should we pay for fuel for the commute? She responded back on that one and said that would be up to the commissioner's court to decide. I would say, in my opinion, if this is their primary job and that's their job to go there for their work, that'd be no different than someone that lives in Van traveling to precinct 2 Barnum, because that's where he works.
But the thing is, they couldn't drive, they couldn't use a police vehicle to go back, because they're not sworn peace officers, and they'd be in a deputy's car, you know, with lights, sirens and all that. You couldn't do that.
Oh, sure you do.
But no, they're not, they can't stop anybody or anything else
No,
like
we
that.
send joners to school in them cars.
They can't use the lights and
Oh,
sirens.
sure,
Yeah.
they can drive home, but they can use it, they can't impersonate an officer.
Well, what if somebody, they pull them over and say, I need help, what are they gonna do?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I'm sorry, I'm in a vehicle, I'm in a police vehicle, but I can't help you.
No,
I might call 911.
I've gone to that trailer school and there were 6 police cars sitting out in the parking lot
And-
where other counties sent their jailers there to go to school.
The reason I asked that question to start with, if they're going to start the sheriff's and insurance office, they could punch in and right there. Or don't your deputies have the phone out they clock in and out on? They can do that when they get to school and leave school, however y'all want to work that. Keeping up with times, not.
But the thing that,
It's a phone out. It's not.
I know, but is it gonna be on our phone or their phone? Are we issuing on phones?
Let's answer the question.
Oh, my gosh. Y'all make
I
this
think they
so
just use
complicated.
their phone. I think
We
it's not.
can't fix this. If you can't change that, we've got policemen on 8-hour schedule right now. That come in, so I know they can come off of the 96 or whatever it is, where they work the shift stuff. I know they can come off that.
It's a classification because they do an 86 14-day cycle. So that's where they're based on how they receive their overtime, which is what the GOC pays.
So how do we get these 2 people in cadet school?
Just create a step system at the bottom, cadets, and let's be done with it.
They can
Well,
clock in
and
out
the
the
next
sheriff's office.
When budget season, we'll
well,
figure out all these
the
other
issue with
questions.
the clocking in and out though is gonna be, these guys, their job is to go to the academy. They're not working in the jail, they're not working on the street, so they're not getting any comp time. If they are in the academy and we had a couple of snow days, Kilgore College was closed down, okay? And they can't go for them 2 days, well then the instructor's sick this day and they can't go, so whenever we get to the end of their 2 weeks and they've only got 70 hours, they don't have a comp time pool to pull from. So they're just gonna get paid for 70 hours instead of their 86, see what I'm saying?
That's Joe's fault because he didn't put in 80 hours.
Unless they used administrative leave because it was a snow day, they couldn't go.
Let me read to you real quick, this is from East Texas Police Academy. The day basic peace officer course is 775 hours instruction. The course is typically meet Monday through Friday, 8 AM to 5:30 PM, with some evenings, nights required for specific training events. Course conducted outside of Kilgore will be required to come to Kilgore for certain training events lasting up to a week in duration. That's firearms, police professional driving, etc. Depending on scheduling, the day basic peace officer course is typically 5 to 7 months in duration. So those days are varied on hours.
Right.
And why would we not give them comp time or overtime if they done more than the state says?
We would, but,
There may be some days in there where they don't.
yeah.
But I love this thing, they shut down. The instructors say he's call the courts off
So that's opportunity to use their comp time, then you've got administrative leave you can utilize in those situations and make a note that's the way you used it.
That'd be your fault. If they don't get 8 hours,
Yeah.
that's your fault.
Why can't you just use a straight salary regardless?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
That's
that.
what I was That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
just a
They've
straight,
got a 775
right.
hour course, whether they can take
Exactly.
5 months, 7 months.
exactly.
We just need to come up with a salary
Be
for
done
two
with it.
cadets
Now you're back
till
to.
October. Then we're good.
Yes. Can you do that within a step?
Think that they don't have to be 207K, but they could qualify. So then they could be a straight salary.
And so you sent 3 different things,
Yes.
and the first thing, they qualify under 207K because they work in jail, right? And the whole logic behind police activity, law enforcement. I think we did there for them to meet the 5 qualifications with that. And then the third thing you sent me that talks about the trainees, basically said as long as they meet those 5 steps, then you can pay for them to go to school. So I think they have to qualify under the 207K for us to even consider sending them to school.
So then they would need to be hourly. But then he would need to use his process with the administrative time, because the what officially can pay us.
And we plan on retaining these people for years, so if they do gather confidence, roll right on over to their next position. As they move up into that deputy spot now, I mean, that's the whole goal, is to train people up and keep them.
Yes, sir. That's bottom line. We're trying to figure out how to get the best way to get there.
That sounds, the best way is to create a step system at the bottom. And you send them to the academy.
And their hourly pay
Has to be hourly pay,
has to be hourly.
what the Shannon said.
And you can do that. If they go over 1 week, they get comp time. If they're short the next week, you give them admin time.
So we can come with the hourly pay. Is that right?
Well, they have it, they're already making.
They've got a salary total and that breaks down to hour.
What would be the salary for a cadet now that we decided, that you decided on? What would that be?
I would like,
Wanted to keep them at the
I would like to,
approved rate.
at what the salaries are at now.
Okay, what the salary is right now?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're not changing anything on the money, we're just changing the top. Is what we're to be
Then these steps.
We're creating 2 steps at the bottom.
They're moving from the jail side to the sheriff's side, leaving the jailer's position, going to a patrol position and a cadet step of the patrol position. On an hourly wage.
But
I'm
then,
telling you, y'all are complicating this. We don't have to say nothing about the job description. He has got the authority to do it. I didn't come to this court and ask for new job description, or you did a check when you hired a jailer, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
You got the authority to do it.
Well,
I recommend we have a job description to cover what employees' essential functions of their job are.
I mean,
So we'll write it.
I think you would want a description of a cadet, wouldn't you? You'd want,
You got a description for FTO, don't you?
yeah,
yeah, there's expectations.
Yeah. right. I mean, for the future, you're gonna need.
Because East Texas Police Academy, you show up late, and you go get your work done, they'll cut you.
That's right.
So
That's
you,
exactly.
They're our employee, but if they're not
Shouldn't have been.
meeting the mark,
That's
they will
right.
cut them in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
so you're gonna create a job, a position description for cadet, just like you got one for FTO. And that'll be added to the deputy position.
And be out of the current deputy positions, we'll create that.
That's.
Yeah.
Then your next one's FTO, then your next
And
one's.
then whatever pay raise.
We were able to build this up at some point,
Right.
convert that right back
Yeah.
over to a deputy spot.
That's the simplest way to do it.
Okay.
And then their spots are there when they get out of the academy, they're ready to go to FTO.
And the difference in salary, how are we gonna make that up, the 9,200?
It's just coming out of your line.
This particular year, you've got it set in there because you haven't paid the regular pay so far. Now, next year, we'll address that.
And we're talking, if we do 6 months for 2 people, it's a year's salary for one person.
Yeah.
It's $9,200.
Yeah.
If it falls within the 5 to 7 months, then we count 6.
Shannon, would that work?
From my 20 minutes of looking at this before. Yes. Let me, it's got like 31.
Okay, all right.
But based on based on the steps of everything that you said. In order to say that they can go to training and it has to be a bona fide police academy training, they still need to meet the qualifications of the law enforcement activities, which they do.
Right, they don't have to make arrests or anything.
Right,
like that.
right.
It's that from just my little HR man.
Yes, yes.
So I guess the summary is we're all in agreement to do this and that it really needs Jessica and Shannon and Sandy to get together to make the job description and the proper pay requirement.
Pay doesn't go in the job description.
Well,
It's just a job description.
right, but we still need to determine the proper way to establish the pay for the cadet. So,
And determined within a week, so you can vote on it, what, next Wednesday? Next
No.
Wednesday, because they got
You
the,
don't have to come back to us.
doesn't need to come back.
Oh, it doesn't have to come back to us? Okay.
Doesn't need to come back.
It's done right here.
So basically, what comes now, they won't be anything that's on, there's just gonna be their name.
Correct,
pay line.
correct.
So don't get expensive.
Okay, so y'all work out the details. All right. Is there anything else on this item?
One more thing. That should be a contract.
Yes, you did.
The Coffin County uses. Coffin County asked them to give them 24 months. We're gonna pay and send you the academy. This is not a all take. Somebody, both sides are giving something. We're gonna send you the academy, we're gonna train you. We ask you to give us 24 months to work for us.
After you get out of the academy.
Yes, sir.
After you pass the test.
Yes, sir.
Well, after you pass,
Going and
I guess-
two different things.
I guess after you pass the state test.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, they can pass the academy and fail the state test,
Right.
not get licensed.
Yeah, that happens.
Yes, sir, it happens.
I think the contract is fine, we briefly discussed it,
Yes,
I don't know how far you can take it in enforcing it, but I don't know that anybody. Based on how it's laid out, I think it is fine.
And I'm gonna talk to the ones that are selected to do this. And let them know it's a pilot program, all eyes are on them. Need them to shine all over.
You can get all the contracts you want. This is a nobility thing.
I asked that
Yes.
question also.
Yes, sir.
Strictly nobility.
And
Yes, sir.
you said call.
No better than paper sitting on.
Okay, I use that in my.
That's like you said, ethics
That,
and
they said they would call it
man's character or a person's character.
more of a, agreement.
I thought that's what it
Not for a contract, because it will.
And it said agreement,
Agreement, okay,
Yeah.
so
One more time.
question, what is an agreement and not a contract?
Okay.
The word agreement sounds better.
And that probably should be part of the job description too. If they're in it, that they have to agree to sign an agreement.
Agree to sign an agreement. Yeah.
Just the support.
We don't sign it till
Yeah, I know. I just-
I asked her to. And she said, yes, so I didn't think about creating the agreement, I would not follow the contract.
Okay.
I will be mindful of the wording. Used to ensure that we do that, at will.
Are
And I'm sorry.
She's in both counties, believe they will be able to recoup the funds from employees. The amount of employee cannot drop below minimum wage if you do that.
Well, Shannon, are you in agreement with that agreement?
I am.
Hey. All right.
I refer to it as a contract, I didn't pay attention to it. This is Coffin County, a draft of what they use, and it does have agreement topics, not a contract. Okay.
Anything else?
Just one question, you want me to work on drafting Van Zandt County Sheriff Department agreement for you?
Yes, ma'am. We did.
Oh, good, okay, I just wanna make sure that.
Did I give you a copy of this?
Yes, we did.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
We shall move on to item number 4, discuss storage for voting machines.
Gentlemen, I put this on here. I know it's been an issue with, the current space down at precinct 4 and the historical commission and all that. So I spoke with, Susan, the clerk. And there's the building we got the radio stuff stored in, there is a room in the center of it that she feels like would accommodate her stuff. And it's got doors and stuff that would separate it from radio operations and such.
A portion of it, not all of it, but a portion of it.
And before we any further with that, I just want to ask how y'all felt about if you wanted to, well, we got that building for the next 11 months. Do you want to utilize that one part of that building to store the voting machines in or not?
One in Wills Point?
Yes.
What happens at the end of, next year, the end of the year when we,
Like I said, it's a temporary solution until you can figure out the current issue with multiple people using the space we're in.
I think we should hold up on this because I talked to Tim, I think I talked to Sue, and we talked the other day. Tell me if I'm wrong. There's a place in precinct 4 in the building back there. You said there was a room that the historical commission could use, right?
Okay,
That
so
was small.
there's a small office and then there's 2 other rooms where our stuff is.
Right.
Everything was moved from the historical commission stuff was moved into the office that we could move into, you know. And so there's a portion of it that's still in one of the rooms where all of our pages are stored.
But
So they really can't meet, because they were meeting there. I didn't know they were still meeting.
I talked to Tim and they're gonna be here Wednesday. I don't know if their problem is a meeting place or a place to keep their archives.
Okay.
it's both,
Is it both?
it's both.
Cause I think they can keep their archives down there at our barn in that small room, and y'all still have the voting machines put there and it would all fit, right?
Yes, we have everything.
And then we could just figure out a place that they can meet. But as far as storage, I think and we'll make sure when I talk to Tim and who's the other guy, Elvis. If that room is enough to keep their archives there. But they will have to have a place to meet. I don't think they'll be able to meet there anymore, but they can have their stuff stored there.
Because our plan was going to be on Wednesday, when we're actually picking up all the election equipment, we were gonna split it up there. And go back to, if we were gonna store it over in precinct 3, we were gonna go ahead and split it then, go ahead and take everything over to the new building. And go ahead and have it there, so.
And we can still do that, I mean, and when the building's up or whatever, we can go back to precinct 4, I mean, it doesn't matter, it could be just temporary storage over there until we figure out. If the archives can stay over there, and then we'll figure out a place to meet.
And then Keith, we would put the trailer back over in your yard, is that okay?
Well, it sounds fine, give us time.
Yes.
And we've got a secure building
Mhm.
that has an alarm and video security. So just go for it.
Yeah,
Just
go
know
for
that
it.
we'll have to have access in and out of it, which we've already talked to. I've talked to Chad and said, you know, we can definitely communicate with whoever you tell us to let them know we're gonna be in and out of there on this day.
That's the other thing is, as far as the codes to the door alarm system being released, is that how many people would want to have access to it? Kind of one thing to let them in and out one day, but if they're wanting in and out there all the time, we got to work that out. You got a lot of, even with the voting machines, even more valuable equipment in there.
Anything else on that item? Item number 5, discuss a disposition, excess furniture, office equipment, and other county property not needed or being used. This came up to me, after watching Kaufman County. They're in the process of restoring their courthouse. And, they had a public, opening where they allowed people to come in and buy whatever equipment and furniture and stuff was in there, and I think they made some good money. And right now, we've got some excess desks and other stuff. I don't know what else anybody else has, but what I was considering was having some kind of sale gathering it all in one location and having a sale of the county property that we no longer need. And I was, wanting to see if that was of interest for anybody else, and if anybody else has that, you know, not equipment, but furniture and, that they'd be
I
interested.
don't know if we can do that, really.
I would say we have options.
That's what they did. Kaufman County had an auction.
You can,
Kaufman County had an auction. That's what, they didn't have a say.
Okay,
has to be, you have to have an auctioneer,
Mm.
an auction that.
you can do it online. You can do it online, I guess. You know what? So the alternative is just put it on a dumpster.
No,
Well, you get approval to just, we would bring it to the court to,
Yeah, but that still is for you, but.
okay?
We just,
What if we just stored it outside the building? All right, I will,
Upstairs, we're upstairs trying to get into our room. And our room is stacked. From bottom to top with chairs,
well,
and that's my room, and I give nobody authority to put those chairs in there. And so I suggested to Chris that we just do a lot of chairs, we just have an option.
we are.
that's what we need.
Instead of just
Yeah.
take the picture and do a lot of these chairs
That's right.
and sell. We don't get time for it.
He's coming, and he's coming tomorrow.
And we got rid of that junk.
He's coming tomorrow, and we can add that to that Renee Banks auction and be done with it.
all right, we'll inventory it, take pictures of it and put it up for auction. I will bring, once I get the inventory done, I'll bring it to the commissioner's court to get approval to put it out for auction. So that's where we're going.
Yes, sir.
And if y'all have anything else, in your barns or whatnot that would qualify, if you no longer need it, is worth something, let me know. All right, is there any, I don't know of any other items, so I guess we are at number 6, adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you much, gentlemen and ladies.
The workshops. It wasn't key.
What?
Say it wasn't key to continue, so it's not.
Wasn't that right?
Yeah, I think it's marketing. Yeah. So.
I need to talk to you.
Yes, I'll go ahead.
All right.
Maybe it's me. That you're going. It's with.
You're behind me. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
So, yeah, just don't do it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. It's election. But, yeah.
I mean, I like it.
I whacked that thing all over the state.